There you go. Hi, I'm James Lott Jr. It's another edition of the Super Organizer Show with James Lott Jr. It's a special edition, and I have a great guest with me today. She's a returning guest and somebody I've talked to before. Now, okay, so she's a professional organizer. She has books out, but she has a new course out called Clutter-Free Parenting: Making Space in Your Home for the Magic of Childhood and Joy of Parenting was the first book. Now she has the course Creating Peace at Home with Decluttering, especially with children at home. That's your whole thing right now you're doing. It's the 4-step process to clear your clutter and your mind with Allison, her partner. And she's somebody I like a lot, and I'm so glad to have her back on because a lot of you guys are at home with your children and you're actually in your space. So you see everything you have. And she is so great about how to work with parents and with children. My friend, Laura Carlin. Hi, Laura.
Hi, James. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're just talking before the mic. I want this on camera because I'm asking how they're doing, and you asked me how I was doing, and I'm going to ask you in a second. To answer your question, I have been home 15 days as of this recording. I have not gone anywhere outside my property. I'm very fortunate, and I know I'm very blessed and fortunate. I have a huge house with a huge yard. So if I want to walk, I can actually walk. My yard is the length of a block almost. That's how big my property is. So I'm very fortunate. I have a garden, I have trees, fruit trees,
how nice,
loquats and all that stuff. So I'm very fortunate. So I'm good. And I've been doing these interviews, and I asked Laura to be on. I've been doing about 3 or 4 a day. And I've been interviewing all my friends in the business, all my businesses that I do. They've been so gracious, and we've been having a good time. So my day is busy, and I have a puzzle station set up doing a puzzle. I have a painting station set up doing painting. And behind me is my keyboard and my gold microphone. I do music and I do spoken word. So, I mean, I'm actually being very creative right now. My days are going by fast. So, to answer your question, I'm doing okay. Now, how are you doing over there?
You know, similar. I feel like I realized that I could, really stress out or create. And I chose create. And so I feel I've been very busy. My days have been very full. And we had a little hiccup today with no internet.
Yeah, which about that? So is that crazy?
Yeah. Isolation is one thing, but isolation with no internet is something else. And so it made me very appreciative of, the internet and the way that that's connecting us right now, because I think that's so important that we can connect. We're doing Zoom dinners with grandma right now. And, and it also made me realize, it caused all this chaos in my house today because there was no internet. And, I had a bunch of things I was doing. I'm actually at a friend's house right now in their backyard because they're isolating, but using their internet. And it just made me realize why it is so important to create peace and order at home, because it just does make you feel, when things are disorganized, like so stressed out and overwhelmed and just, not good. And so it just reminded me of just how much benefit there is to creating peace and order in our homes and in our lives.
Let me piggyback off that. I had people get mad at me, because that's what they do online sometimes, when I said I live in a house and stuff. And I was like, well, I don't live in a house and I don't have a yard. And I said, one of the things that I have always done, no matter where I've lived, I tell people, I lived in a place once that had no kitchen. It was called an efficiency. It had an area where I had a hot plate and I had a microwave and I had a college, so I always call them the college refrigerators. Of course, I was young when I did that. But I mean, I lived in places of all sizes. And I always say, make your place comfortable. Make your place functional. I know you agree with this completely. And I think
absolutely,
it doesn't matter where you live. It's like, just make it so it's user friendly for you and that you feel comfortable in it. And so I said, I live in a house, but you can live in a studio apartment and still have a really great home, right?
Yes. A great home in any space. And I think you're so right. There is so much to be gained from function and comfort. That just lends itself to feeling peace, I think. Just being supported by your environment. And I think that right now, all of a sudden, like our homes, if they weren't already the center of our universe, and for me being a homebody, it kind of was. My life isn't so different because I'm such a homebody, but for those of us who it wasn't, it's now totally the center of our universe because our homes are now our home gyms, our offices, home schools. And so we really have to make space for those activities and support ourselves like you just did. I mean, that's so amazing in your space. Like you're like, okay, this is how my house needs to support me. I want to do music. I want to do puzzles. I want to do my work. And, you know, we want to set it up for that. I think as soon as possible so that we can, you know, make the best of this time and enjoy this time.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a time where now people are seeing what they don't have, what they, and in some ways what they do have, and if they have too much of it. They're also seeing what they possibly might need. Now they're home all day, they're seeing, okay, well, I go to work from 9 to 7. Okay, so at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm running around, I mean, that's like a big deal to me, seemingly. You're still wasting time, as you and I both know as organizers and productivity specialists. But now at your home, you're like, and not going off to work, you're like, oh, I can't find the scissors. I mean, like scissors, I have somebody tell me that. I don't know where my scissors are. I know I have scissors in this house somewhere, and I don't know where they are. Well, why aren't they in your home office, or why aren't they in somewhere where you sit? Like, now they're saying, oh, trust me, I've had people tell me, James, now I get it. I get what you do. Because they're home, and now they're really immersed in their space.
Yes, I think that is so true. Like anything that was just not awesome in life is like so glaringly obvious, you know, whether it's stuff in our homes that's not working right or relationships or whatever it is, you know, it just has become, you know, we're front and center. Because like you said, we've been brought home and we're those distractions, you know, are gone right now. Like in some ways life has been simplified for us. And so we're just exactly what you said, having to confront it.
Yes, definitely. I want to go right into this 4-step process to clear your clutter and your mind, 40-minute video presentation, all this stuff going on. So what was the impetus for creating this next level of, because you had the book and stuff, but now this is the next level. What was the impetus for that?
Well, you know, so this actually, so we have this online course, and the video clutter clearing part was just something my sister and I just love working in that medium. It's Allison is my sister.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yes, that's right.
We don't look alike, so people
no, you don't, not at all.
Not at all. And so when people, even when you say that together in a meeting, it just goes right over people's head because she's blonde, I'm brunette.
Now I remember that. Now I do remember from our last conversation. I was like, you guys are related? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're sisters, and we just, you know, we just love this medium and this online course world. And one of the reasons we wanted to go to that platform is because you can create community. And so we do. So as part of our course, we have a Facebook community that my sister and I are just active in every day right now because we really want to be there to support people. And so the online demonstration of the 4 steps was something that we had already had and we're going to launch. But then when this whole thing happened, we decided, you know what, we can really add to this. And we created all this bonus material about how you can set up your bedroom to sleep, how you can clutter clear, you know, with kids, how you can clear your inner clutter, simple steps for inner practices to create more peace and calm. Like, you know, we created all this bonus material in the forum, and we also have discounted our course significantly. And we're also very open to people reaching out to us if they need some kind of sliding scale, because we really want to make it accessible for everybody.
Yeah. So. Now, I want to bring up the kid component because that's a big deal right now. Yes. My friends with small children and teenagers, I feel my kids are grown, so I'm lucky. I understand, but I want to say, because we talked about this last time we talked a little about it. So this whole decluttering with your kids, it's basically a 2-pronged approach because you have to deal with the parent side and the kid side, correct? You have to handle, you got to teach the parents how to do stuff, but and then
it's very, very important to Did I lose you?
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, this is real life, kids. This is real life. This is what we're doing right now. 1 second. Listening to this, we're doing this recording, and it's just kind of, so I paused it for a second to see if it was back. Back. Okay, so like I said, it's a 2-pronged approach, parents, kids. Go there. Let's start there.
Yeah. Okay. So for parents, you know, I always suggest starting with your own clutter first, because particularly with older kids, you know, if you're saying to them, to your teenager, go declutter your room, but your office is cluttered and your closet's cluttered, that's not going to go over very well. So I think it's always important to take responsibility and take care of our own clutter first. Now, that said, with very young children, their clutter is our clutter. So kids who are 6 and under, we're responsible for their worlds. And then in that sort of 8, 9, 10, 11 range, where we might be involving them, always we want to be considering before we let go of something. Of course, we're trying to tune in and decide, for them, is this something that's loved and meaningful for them? And when they're in that 8, 9, 10, 11, we can ask them that, but we still get final say. And then with our older kids, we're really trying to guide them. We're really trying to inspire them, like give them the reason for, why clearing clutter, can be meaningful to them, like clean desk, clear mind, better grades, or clutter-free space, more time you get to get out there and be with your friends because it's, more efficient. And so we're just about more inspiring them.
Okay, I didn't ask you this last. I have a question for you, actually, that it's on the lines of this for the younger set.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on memory boxes for the kids? Like, I know that a lot of my clients who are parents are like, well, I think I want to save this for them. And then I'm like, well, they're not really deciding. They're deciding for the kids, so they're saving. And sometimes it's a lot of stuff. I mean, so what are just some of your feelings on memory boxes, things like that?
So, again, my feeling is that for kids who are 6 and under, it's really better for us to just be making these choices. Like, it's too overwhelming for them. Kids really, they don't really want to have a lot of choice. It's more comforting for them, for us to be making decisions. And again, we're not trying to take away things that we think are meaningful for them. We're trying to really tune into their needs. But in terms of memory boxes, what I find is, it's always important to anticipate with kids their growth, because they're outgrowing clothes, they're outgrowing toys, and then they're bringing home like the schoolwork and artwork.
Yes.
So we got to have a system in place. The system is the most important piece of that, rather than what we ultimately decide to keep and let go of. Because if there's not a system, then it just goes crazy. We need to know when they outgrow that piece of clothing. Am I donating it to a friend? Am I saving it in a box for a sibling? We want to have that empty labeled box ready. Artwork and schoolwork, same thing. Usually what I say is, there's this process of you appreciate it. Some stuff maybe gets displayed. And then what I like to do is photograph everything. That's what I tell my clients to do, because then you can turn it into, we like to do a digital book every year of photographs, and you can incorporate the artwork into that, and just have it all in one place. But what I also find is, like, have the box ready for the items, you think you're going to keep. And then at the end of the school year is a great time to go through it, because in the moment it's all so precious and so great. But at the end of the year, then we can really kind of go through again and say, okay, really, what is meaningful here, and kind of narrow it down a bit.
I like that. Okay, I like that idea. I'm gonna share that with I'm gonna share this podcast with some of my clients who listen to this already. I'm gonna share that with them. I say, listen to this, because that's when it comes up for me, the memory box thing. It is kind of, you're right, you have to have a system in place first, and then like the end of the year, school year thing, go through it and see what's still decent or not, what still we want to keep or not.
And the other thing I would add to that too is that, when it just sits in a box, it often, like, we're not going to look at that until we move, or who knows when. So really, what is the point? And that's why I like the idea of, if it really is that special, like, try to bring it into a photograph book that maybe sits on the coffee table or in the living room, where you actually can, keep appreciating these memories.
I have a couple of things from me. I was in a fire, so I lost all my childhood stuff, basically.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately. So I learned what that stuff is sometimes, like, I'm not gonna do about it. But I have a couple of things, and I did shadow boxes. So they're incorporated into my space. Also, you were talking about this. So they're part of my world. And
Right.
it's fun. People walk and go, yeah, that's when you were 15. I'm like, yeah, I was 15.
Yeah.
That's this. So I did do that. I'm gonna make another shadow box. You can't see it's weird. I won an award for a TV show last year.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
I decided to do that. It's like, why not? It becomes part of your space.
Yes.
But it doesn't really clutter up your space.
Yes.
It becomes part of the arts. And so you showcase it. I think for kids in their rooms, showcase some of their stuff, and it's out, it's being used, it's seen. Yeah. And when they get older, they can just take it with them, and it's still in something. And
I love that idea.
Yeah, I try a little bit, Laura. I've been in this for 11 years. I try a few things, I guess. But now, okay, so now I want to talk about, so this course you have, it's geared to the parents first, correct? The ones that are going
to. This course is really geared toward everybody. My book, Clutter-Free Parenting, is really geared towards parents. Right. And actually this course is really geared towards everybody right now who just wants to dial in the like, how do I clear my clutter with a visual? Because my sister and I actually go through it with a demonstration in my house.
Good.
And show you our four steps, and give you the examples. And so it's really focused for everybody who just is like at home right now and thinking, I want to do this project, and how do I go about doing it? And particularly, I think if it's something that's overwhelming, we really just give a step-by-step, like, start here and just go through it with a lot of detail.
Oh, I like that. What is one, I don't want to say mistake, I don't want to use that word. What is one go-to maybe emotion that most parents go through when they try to declutter with their kids at home, do you think? I'm trying to use my words. I don't want to say mistake. It's just like you're at home. The kids just
Right.
want to do something. I'm just thinking, what is the one thing that maybe isn't, that parents do that may not be the greatest thing? Maybe that's the word I'm using to phrase it.
Well, I guess I would say, what age are the kids?
Okay.
I would say, I think that one thing is trying to involve kids who are too young.
Okay, good point.
Where it just becomes overwhelming for them. Like, really, we just need to take care of our younger children's things as if they're our own. And I think, again, with the teenagers, it's not taking care of your own stuff first. It's projecting, like, it's really looking at, okay, where's my clutter, right? And really dealing with that first before we try to turn to our teenagers.
I kind of like that. Lead by example, so to speak. They see you organizing, and then they go, oh, okay, maybe they'll look and go, well, she's not just talking like, do this, do as I say, not as I do. It's more like, I see what I'm doing, and so I would like you to do the same thing or something similar.
Yes. Now, that said, in this extreme time right now, I do think that we, as the parents in the household, we need to get our homes, the faster we can get our space set up, the more we can get to some of the hopefully gems that this time might offer, some of the possibilities for more presence and connection with our family. And, really what gets in the way of that is the clutter. The physical clutter is emotional clutter, because it stresses us out. It becomes conflict. It takes our time and energy instead of, like, being able to just experience our families. And so I do think right now it's like, let's get set up. Like, how will my home best support us? Like, if my kids are remote learning, let's get their remote learning space set up for them. Let's get my home office space set up. Where are we going to come together communally? Where is the family game area and the puzzle table? And the more we get our home set up that way, then the more our home is telling our kids kind of what to do versus us, telling them what to do. And I would say right now, for this time, in terms of clutter clearing, I think having boxes, if you're tight on space, you talked about people coming to you who have very tight on space. And I would say have a bunch of boxes, ideally stackable, whether it's plastic containers or whatever, with lids. And I would say that get out of your environment what you don't need in the next month. Put them in the boxes. Now, ideally, so you don't give yourself a huge project down the road, I would still hold it to the same standard of, is it loved or useful? But if it's loved and useful, but you just don't happen to need it right now, maybe it's seasonal items, maybe it's an excess of toys, like, put them in the boxes so you can free up space for the stuff that is actually really important right now during this isolation.
I like that. Everything you're saying, I love it. I think it's just that people they hear kids, they hear organizing. And I think, and it's funny because also a question that's come up has been, so the younger kids, you don't put their consideration, and you shouldn't ask them. Like, you shouldn't go, okay, I guess if there are 5 or 6, then you probably shouldn't ask them over and over. Probably a few things, right? But not everything. Oh, do you want to keep this? Do you want to keep this? They don't know what that concept is, do they?
It's too overwhelming for them. And I think it ends up putting too much importance on the stuff. And I think that right now, I think the best thing is, at that age, is that, certainly like 3 and under, but if you're a little, and it depends on your child. Always, what I say to parents is, you're the parent. No one knows your children better than you do. And I will say right now, also in this special time, we want to be grounding our children. We want to be creating a sense of calm and peace. And so we don't want to be taking away things from them that are grounding, so if you're not certain about it, then use that technique right now of having the boxes of, right now we'll put this away. that way, if they ask, we're making space for some new things right now. And that way, if they ask about it, it's there. You know, this might not be, I wouldn't take chances right now on things you're not sure about, you know,
Yeah, I wouldn't
things,
either. I wouldn't
you know,
either.
things that's truly clutter and you can get out. That's one thing that, you know, they don't care about, but stuff that you're on the fence about, I don't think it's a time to, you know, I would use those temporary, you know, boxes right now, if you're not certain.
I agree.
And, you know,
One
this
thing,
brings up another issue, which is, you know, my sister and I always talk about how you clear is as important as what you clear. And I think this is very true when you have children, which is the inner state that we have as we go about clearing, you know, is part of it. You know, that it kind of is the end result. And so if you're feeling like stressful and, oh my gosh, should I give this away? And it's a big deal to give away stuff. Well, guess what? You know, our kids,
right.
our little kids who feel everything are going to feel that too. And so
Yeah.
I think part of it is really just, you know, the stabilizing presence of, okay, you know, right now we're making space for these different things and we're, you know, we're tidying up and focusing on that.
Some of the things that I do with some of my clients, I go, let's put on music. What kind of music do you like? To the kids, for the teenagers, what kind of music do you like? Let's put it on, and hopefully it's not anything that bad. I'm getting a little older now. My taste is changing. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't know what's going on. No, let's put on some music and let's like organize the music. Let's get in there and let's go through a drawer. Let's go through the closet and try to make it fun a little bit. I think there's many things you can do. And again, you know your child. I mean, that's the thing. And hopefully you know your child. That's the whole point. Is that, and I think it's a great thing right now because now you can have the sense of togetherness while you're organizing, because now you're together. Now they're getting your attention and you're looking at them, you're being present, you're getting their attention, and now you're hopefully working together on something. It's a great, interesting time to be.
Yes.
Otherwise.
Yes, it is. It really is an opportunity, I think, for that, you know, deeper presence and connection. If we can make space for it and let it be okay that our kids are bored. And let it be okay that there's not a lot to do. And then I think, you know, when we create the space and then we get into our routines and our rituals and, you know, this is how we're going to move through our day, you know, that's where I think the magic can start to happen with our children.
Yeah,
that time for connection.
And I agree with you. We got to keep things calm. They learn from us, starts from the top. So they follow our cues, they feel our energy. And it's about us setting the tone in our homes. So that they can they're looking to us to see what's going on. They don't know everything that we know, obviously, and they don't know everything as they shouldn't. They don't know everything we know, so it's kind of like, okay, how do we do this? So I guess the same with organizing. They'll follow your cues, your actions, your words, choosing your words carefully, and all that stuff. They're following that. So you want to lead by example. And I always say kids can learn. Organizing is a great thing. Organization is a great thing. Productivity is a great thing. We can learn it. It's a learned behavior. That's what's beautiful about what this is. And you can learn it from. I mean, I said kids can have chores. Kids, I mean, it's a great thing. Where actually you can show that from all ages you can learn something in terms of organizing and productivity.
Yes, absolutely. And I think there's great comfort in those chores. You know, in the rhythm, like you said, if you put on music and you are the energy you want to create in your home as you clear, and you know, then and you are kind of in that rhythm of like the everyday routines, you know, that can be very calming and grounding in and of itself.
Yeah. So tell me what the course is, where they can find it, where they can find you, because you're lovely and you're so smart and you have great stuff and you're very encouraging. I love it. Tell them everything. Tell them all that stuff.
Thank you so much, James. I feel the same way about you. I really do. I love everything that you do and everything that you say. So I can be found at inspiredeverydayliving.com, and it's at Inspired Everyday Living on Facebook and inspired.everyday.living on Instagram. And there will be a prompt on my inspiredeverydayliving.com homepage for this course, which is this 40-minute online video course demonstration, plus all of these bonus materials that we've written, plus a community where we are completely available to help, you know, everybody in whatever way we can through this time.
Yes, we don't know how long it's going to be, folks. We have no idea. Yeah. So we're going to be here for probably a little while. We just don't know how long. And of course, so folks, Super Organizer is everywhere. We're all over the place. And you can go to our show. This one's going to be on YouTube or my JLJ Media page. It'll also be on as an audio too, because I have a lot of my fans who like the audio version. It will be out on audio, don't worry. And that's on every streaming service you can possibly think of, from Spotify to Deezer to Google to iHeartRadio. It's everywhere under the SOS show with James Lott Jr. You can find this and many others, and her episode from a while back on there too. And almost a year ago, we did that show
I
together.
think so.
So like it's like hers on there too. And of course our Facebook pages and stuff. I usually do my thanks and gratitude at the beginning, which I forgot to do because it's a special episode. My thanks and gratitude to all the parents at home, because I see you, I hear you, I sympathize, empathize, everything with you, because it's not an easy task to be home with your children full time while you're trying to navigate the waters of what the world's saying right now. There's a lot of things going on. So my thanks and gratitude go to you and for all the hard work that you're having to do. And some of you guys are also caregivers of your own parents and things that are going on. So I think it all goes to you. This show is dedicated to you and to everybody that does that stuff. And of course, you can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. That's right, everywhere. James Lott Jr. is everywhere. You can follow me on TikTok. I have a super organizing series called How to Get Super Organized in Under a Minute. And that apparently is doing really well over there. I can't believe it. I'm like on TikTok. So follow me there at James Lott Jr. for those episodes too. And everyone, please stay safe and sane. Let's see.